What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video I will be reviewing my first nationals in Canada that happened on November 21st, and oh man, it was an experience because I have started competing this year. I've been doing some friendly comps and eventually my goal was to do like provincials and maybe nationals, but when I got qualified for nationals I was like, yeah, let's do it. And for starters, I really didn't go into that comp to perform. I was there for the experience and also to just know what it's like to compete for real, you know? So I'll explain how the comp worked during the video. So let's just get started. Alright, so boulder number 4. As you can see, we're not starting off with boulder number 1 because there was 2 groups and I was on group B since I was one of the last athletes to do my round. And this boulder, even before going into it, I knew it was the hardest boulder in the qualifying round because I saw everybody falling on the first moves and I was like, well, I'm gonna get humbled real quick, but I didn't expect to get this humble. Like, I couldn't even do this move. And when I saw the video, because they gave out the videos before the comp, the dude was so strong, he could just lock off and do the cross move, but for me it was just not going. But anyways, I gave it 4 attempts and I knew this wouldn't go, but at least it took some stress out because I was like, well, I just did the hardest boulder. I'm just gonna have fun from now on. So this was a humbling first boulder, but yeah, I just went on to my 4 minutes break and I was like, it's whatever. Like, I know not a lot of people got the zone on that one, so it's just like my comp starts on the next boulder. So this was the second boulder I did on my round and it turned out to be my style because I love those big pinches that I've never even touched before, and then you have this dual text hold that I could practice on my gym. So I got the zone on my first attempt and I know quite a few people didn't get the zone on their first. So I was happy about this, but then I knew the ending was definitely the crux because you had to throw yourself into this pinch that wasn't too good, especially because you have this big slope before launching out to the next move. So on my first attempt I could get to the last move and I was already like, I knew it was a low percentage move, but touching that last hold I was definitely thinking, okay, I need to like hit it perfectly and definitely get higher on it, and my left hand has to be on the right side. So a lot of things that I was thinking about in 4 minutes only. And on my second attempt, as you can see, I'm already like a little gassed out because I'm not used to doing a lot of attempts in 4 minutes, even though I trained it, but it's definitely different on comps. And I was also a little sick going into this competition, so every time I was doing an attempt I was so exhausted, and even in ISO I was like doing a boulder and I felt like I was pretty weak on my endurance. Strength base I was fine, but like just my my cardio wasn't there. So on my third attempt there I was already to my limit, and I actually gave it my best attempt on my last try. As you can see, I hold it a little, but I didn't get the top of it. But I definitely think it was possible. I think I had too much skin also because the last hold was good, but I was just kind of slipping out of it. So anyways, we're on boulder number 6 now. And after this boulder, there was like a huge break of like 2 hours in between my, the first 3 boulders that were remaining. And so this was the last boulder of my first round. And as you can see, we have a big slab and I was stuck on this beginning for like I think 2 minutes and I couldn't figure out what to do to go to the next foothold. And I also remember I was super exhausted during this boulder because on a slab like this you usually use a lot of endurance by simply breathing a lot, and then you're like in this, like you're using strength in this type of slab. It's not like completely just balance. On the left hand you're using some strength and some core and a lot of muscles that you need to like use, and since I was feeling a little sick, it was really just burning me out. But on this attempt I finally figured out how to go to the next foothold. It was simply by switching the left hand into this type of undercling, and by doing that I could match my feet and then go to the next foothold. But as you saw there, the problem was the next move, since you have to jump into this very good hold and the intended beta was to keep on going and do like a big paddle, but for me it was definitely like stopping was easier. But from that perspective, that jump felt super far. When I was looking at the hold, I really had to throw myself into it, because if I was just not committing enough, I wouldn't have gotten my feet over there, and it was actually pretty far. But I finally stuck the zone, and I was super proud because I didn't think I could get the zone after my first attempts. And I was already at the last move, and I was a little like, I didn't know what to do exactly because the position was super weird. And I knew I had to do this type of coordination of catching myself with a toe hook. And I almost stuck it, but I couldn't find the balance. And I was like 20 seconds, only had 20 seconds after, and I couldn't get the top of the boulder. Alright, so we're on boulder number 1 now, and this boulder was the first boulder for most of the people, but for me it was my 4th, and I just came back from my 2 hours break. So during that time I was watching a lot of people top this one, and also my friends told me that it was definitely the most toppable boulder. And it was actually not too bad. As you can see, the holes are pretty good. The only problem are the positions. You really have to get like a good body positioning and just move well to not like waste a lot of energy. So on my first attempt, I am getting the zone, and the only problem is that I didn't really commit to the last move. So once I grabbed it, I was sliding a little bit. So I knew that on my second attempt, I should just commit and really throw myself into it so I can start like rotating. But you'll see in a moment. So on my second attempt, I was already adapted to the first moves. They weren't really hard, just like I knew the sequence, so I was moving a lot more efficiently. And this boulder really wasn't too bad, but I still feel like I could have dropped it, since in 4 minutes I can give it max 3 attempts, and on this one fortunately I could get the last move, but it was like definitely droppable. Okay, so now we're on boulder number 2, and this is the 5th boulder of my competition. So as you can see now, we have a big slab, and the next footholds are super bad, so it was really testing your ability to stay balanced and to just pull hard on one toe, because these were really bad footholds. So I'm not gonna spoil you on how I did on this boulder, because you're just gonna see on the screen what my tries were like. But I really did a good performance. At least personally, I think I did the best I could, because I didn't expect like much from seeing this boulder. I was seeing a lot of people fall on the zone, trying to go on it, and also the top section was not really easy. So when I looked at this boulder, I was just like, well, I'll hop on it and see how it feels like. But on my second attempt here, you can see I'm getting this zone, but I finally stuck it like in a controlled manner. So once I got there, I was super psyched, and I didn't really know what to do because the foothold on the left side was so bad, the volume. You had to smear really hard, and when I tried to grab it as an undercling, I was very unbalanced and I couldn't do the rest. So I went on the boulder again for my 3rd time, and the good thing about this boulder is that you can try it a lot of times, but it takes a good amount of time because you're on the wall for like a minute on only 1 attempt. So I was really trying to give at least another attempt on getting the zone and trying the ending, because taking it as an undercling, I knew it wasn't necessarily the good thing to do, so I wanted to try something else. But in order to do that, I had to stick this foot cross section, and it was really not that easy because you're on a very bad foothold and you have to like cross your other foot. But as you can see here, I'm getting the zone, I'm smearing very hard on the left side, and I finally could move on from this position. And then I was like, okay, yeah, let's go, let's do this boulder. And look at my left foot, it's like already shaking. I didn't place it very well, and at this point I was not really balanced, and I tried to my best, but I couldn't get the top of this boulder, unfortunately, and I was disappointed, but I knew that I gave my best performance, and getting on the last move was a pretty good achievement for me. Alright, so we are on boulder number 3 now, and this is the last boulder of my competition. So seeing this boulder, I was scared of it because I saw people falling on this paddle a lot, and I knew that these holds didn't really have friction because they're pretty old, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. And I'm already bad at paddling, but I'm usually trying paddles when they have friction. These holds had no friction, and I was just completely helpless. Like, I couldn't pull on them, and they were basically all pretty pathetic attempts. But since it was my last boulder, I gave it all. I was really trying to get the zone, even though it doesn't look like it. I was trying to my best, and at that moment I didn't know that I could just jump to the zone and trying to catch myself with the right side. So I was trying to do the paddle in the normal way. I tried my best till the end, and I think this is one of the last attempts. And you can also see that I was reaching for the start because it was really not comfortable to jump on the first hold. I saw a lot of people getting stuck on the first move and actually couldn't even get past the first section. But this is my last attempt, and as you can see, I could not get the zone, but it's whatever. I knew that this boulder wouldn't fit me necessarily, but at least I gave it all I had. So that was the recap of my first nationals here in Canada, and man, it was an insane experience. My first 4-minute format, and I was just super psyched to be there. The boulders were nice. I had a lot of friends that I could finally see again, and just seeing strong people everywhere and seeing athletes cheering on others, it was just so cool, and I had an amazing time there. So thank you Block Shop for this event. It was really cool. Thanks to the volunteers and also the setters. The boulders were awesome. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.